I get asked all the time if I'm still glad that I made the move to Idaho, and now after being here for a couple of years, I wanted to shoot this video to give you my honest review and feedback and take on whether or not I'm still happy that I made the move to the Boise, Idaho area, leaving my hometown in San Diego, California, for a huge change in my life, for my family's life, and the way that we live. And in this video, I'm going to break down whether or not I feel like it was a good decision to make the move here, if I'm still happy being in Idaho, and help answer that question for you if I'm still glad that I made the move to Idaho from California after being here a couple of years. As I mentioned, I moved from San Diego, and San Diego is a really difficult place to move from. I help a lot of people move to Idaho from California because of all the political things going on, the super high cost of living, and just kind of the crazy stuff going on. But San Diego tends to kind of be its own little enclave down there, so it's still a difficult place to leave because there's a lot going for it. And the biggest thing, of course, is the weather. That was probably the #1 thing holding me back for many years ever considering leaving San Diego, was because of how awesome the weather is. It has some of the best weather, of course, in the lower 48. You can't beat the beaches. And basically, as we always say in San Diego, it's just another day in paradise. So it was difficult to make the move to Idaho because of that, and really to anywhere else. But ultimately, we realized that really it made the most sense to make the move for more affordability, better way of life, better place to raise my children. And we are really glad that we made the move here to Idaho. I still think that that's probably the biggest thing for anyone moving here to Idaho is the weather and the unpredictability of it, and the 4 seasons if we're not used to the 4 seasons. Now, I actually like the 4 seasons now. I'll jump into that in a minute. However, it does get really cold here in Idaho. It can get windy. So even if it's cold and there's no wind, it's really not bad, but that wind picks up and it is biting. So you gotta make sure you got the right gear, the right clothing to be able to go outside when it is cold and still be able to enjoy the outdoors. You're not just stuck inside all the time. And it does happen. You will see that people just don't really go outside a whole lot during the wintertime because it's cold and uncomfortable. A lot of people are concerned about how much snow we get in the Idaho area, and honestly, it's only a couple inches at a time, maybe 1 inch to 3 inches typically, overall less than 20 inches every year. However, every once in a while you do get a big snowstorm. We just had one this past year in January where we got about 2 feet of snow over about 4 or 5 days. And yeah, it was a lot of snow, but were people complaining about it? Not really. It's kind of fun. Like, you normally get a little bit of snow and then all of a sudden you get 2 feet of snow, stuck around for a week or two, melted off. Is it the funnest thing to drive through? No, not really. In fact, I was out doing showings during that snowstorm. I was able to go through it, no problem. The people I was with wanted to drive themselves. They got stuck, had to push them out. And it also gets really hot here in the summertime. Now, last summer was more mild. The summer before was really hot. When I first moved here, I think there was about 6 weeks of basically 100-degree plus every single day, ranging from about 100 degrees to 107 degrees with a few relief days in the 90s. So it was really, really hot. I was actually a little surprised because I didn't think that Idaho got that hot. I knew it could get warm, but I was like, man, did I just move to Phoenix or something? But that was shocking. But then last summer was more mild. A lot of days in the 80s and 90s, occasionally over 100 degrees, but it does get hot. The sun is pretty intense here. You will find that it feels a little bit hotter than normal, even though there's no humidity. It's just that intense heat of the sun being, I think, so far north. I'm not a weather expert, so I might have gotten that wrong, but it feels more intense than me. Now, again, that's probably the biggest reason why people don't like living in Idaho. There's probably a couple other reasons, but I do actually really enjoy the 4 seasons. You may not. I grew up not really being used to 4 seasons, but it's pretty cool with spring, summer, fall, winter. You really see kind of the life cycles every single year. Springtime, everything starts to come to life, starts to bloom. You've got a lot of farms around Idaho, and you start seeing everything green up. You see baby cows and baby goats and little baby ponies, and my kids absolutely love seeing all those. And you drive through a lot of farms here, so you do see a lot of that. And it's really cool to see kind of that new season of life every single year. And spring's a really interesting time weather-wise. It's a little unpredictable. It can get windy, it can still be cold, and it can warm up and be really, really pleasant. In fact, there's some really beautiful, gorgeous days, typically in April and May. Then you start moving into summer come June, and things starts to heat up. It does get hotter, but the days are super long. It stays light here till about 10:30 at night. The sun doesn't set until around 10 o'clock. Last light's usually around 10:30 or so. So super long summer days that allow you to really get out and enjoy Idaho, enjoy camping, enjoy the river, enjoy whatever it might be that you're doing in the summertime for a very long period of time. There's all kinds of festivals that are going on, there's parades, there's live music, all kinds of family-friendly events all throughout the valley, and summertime is certainly high time for that. Easy ways to beat the heat is going to the Boise River, beautiful crystal clear river is the Boise River, especially in summertime. The flow starts to get a little bit slower, so you can do the river float. It's a super fun float to do. That's kind of an all-day adventure for sure. However, you can just go to the river at any time, and we like to bring chairs, put them right down in the river, sit down in the chairs, and put our feet in the water. It's nice, snow-fed river. It's super cold, and it might be 95, 100 degrees outside, but it is so refreshing. And then you move into the fall season. You got the fall foliage here. You see the colors changing on the leaves. It starts to cool down. You get that nice crisp air happening. And then there's other fun events all around. You got pumpkin patches. We love going to the Low Family Farmstead during the fall, especially in October. You got hay rides, you got slides, you got this huge dragon you can go through, and pig races and fun fair food type things you can eat. It's a very reasonable price to get in. And then winter rolls around and everything starts to reset. It gets cold, it gets snowy, and people tend to hibernate a little bit during the winter time. So that's kind of the life cycles here. You do get used to it. You have to brace yourself for it, but it's really enjoyable if you embrace it and go for it. If you're new to this channel and you're looking to learn about everything of what it's like to live, work, and play in the Boise, Idaho, Treasure Valley area, this channel has tons and tons of videos going all over the best places to live in Idaho, what it's like to live here, the pros and cons, cost of living, everything you need to know about making the move here to Idaho. And you can explore through my playlist on this channel. And I do put out new videos every single week. So go ahead and hit the subscribe and bell notification so you get notified every time I drop a new video, and smash that like button for me. I think another thing that we like about living in Idaho is that there are a lot of like-minded people here. It's a very conservative state, a lot of traditional family values here. There's a lot of churches here. I think if you're moving here and you're looking for that, you're gonna find it very, very inviting, and you're gonna be so happy that you made the move here. You know, there's just a lot of people that are looking for freedom. They like that individuality, but still in the context of traditional family values. A lot of people are moving here for health freedom, especially around the issue of vaccines and the COVID shots and the lack of requirements for that, as well as the lack of requirements for childhood vaccines in the schools as well. I do think it's really important to find your tribe when you move here, whether that's church, whether it's school, whatever it is that you like to do to meet people. You definitely want to get tapped in as soon as possible, because it can feel isolating if you don't know anyone and you're moving to a new state, whether that's Idaho or anywhere else. So you got to be really intentional about meeting people so that you can really find your tribe and feel that sense of community. Now, something we really love about Idaho is all the outdoor activities, and we really love camping. We have this old camper trailer that's from the 1990s, but we renovated the interior. It's super, super cool. And we absolutely love going camping in that. We like to camp by the rivers, by the lakes. You can boondock. There's also a lot of campgrounds around county or state campgrounds you can go into, or private campgrounds as well. And all these things are a very short distance away. Some are not that far away by the Snake River, 30 minutes or so, but a lot of the camping that most people like to do is get up into the mountains, about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours away. Maybe if you're going to Sawtooth, maybe about 4 hours away, but absolutely wonderful camping opportunities and all sorts of outdoor activities you can do. Of course, all the things you can do on the water with fishing, power boating, of course, hiking. So these are all really fun things that we love to do. And coming from San Diego, we were used to having a lot of nature nearby. And that is the big thing about Idaho, is just a short distance away, you're into the mountains with all kinds of nature activities. A drawback that is in the Idaho area, I would say, is that there's not a great restaurant scene here. Now, there are restaurants, and there's some really good restaurants that we enjoy going to. You'll find a lot in Boise and in Eagle, but each town has their own restaurants that are really great also, but there's just not a whole lot to choose from. Coming from San Diego with a fantastic brewery and food scene, it is definitely a bit of a shift. Something else that's kind of strange about here, it doesn't make me not want to live here, is just the types of home sites around here. It's really interesting. You have these really nice new build homes, potentially $1 million+ homes, and then they'll be right next to an active working farm, or they'll be right next to a dilapidated, kind of broken down building. There was one home recently I toured for someone. It was a tract home builder, but very nice, multi-generational living with an apartment and big, huge home, really beautiful inside. You know, this is about a $700,000 home because of the multi-gen suite going on. Looked great. My client was like, I want to buy that house. And I went over there to see it. And right across the way is this kind of broken down mobile home park. And I told him, I don't think you want to buy this house. So you do get a lot of that. You kind of have to be okay with it. But you just don't want your view to be something like a broken down mobile home park. But that's the cool thing about Idaho, is there is a lot of diversity. You will have homes that have fantastic, amazing views of the foothills, of the mountains, but you can get homes that are right on the water. A lot of these subdivisions have ponds that are built into them. They're usually man-made. They're near the river, so they draw in water from the river. There's water features there. So you can have a sandy beach right under a pond. You can put your little boat out into it. You can paddleboard around. Super, super cool. So in summary, am I happy living here? I really am. I've really developed a good friend group. It takes a lot of effort in order to develop that group, but we are so happy. We love the home that we bought here in Idaho. we love our friends, we love our church, and we love being here. If you're looking to make the move to Idaho, I am a real estate agent. I help dozens and dozens and dozens of people make the move here to Idaho, just like you and you and you and you, and I absolutely love it. All you got to do is reach out to me via phone, text, or email. Contact information is on the screen below. Just pause this, write that down, shoot me a quick text or email. We'll find a time to jump on Zoom and go over the timeline and process to help you make the move here, whether you're 9 days, 90 days, or even 2 years out. All you got to do is reach out. I'd love to help you make the move to Idaho. If you are looking to find more videos about what it's like to live in Idaho, the best places to live, all you got to do is watch this video right here. We dive in deeper, and I'll see you on that next video.